Hi folks, and welcome back to Meaningful Money. Still here at Lamorna Cove, still freezing my nuts off. But never mind, that's all in the Call of Duty and everything. We're going to talk about how ISAs work this time. It's been a long time since I talked about ISAs, just done a video dedicated to it, and all the way back I think in episode 39, I don't think actually, it's on the notes. Junior ISAs though I dealt with more recently, number 155 back in November, but thought I'd just summarise it again, look at the new allowances and things like that. So as ever, before we get into the meat of it, my friends down here in the bottom right, that's 7 Investment Management, they continue to sponsor me here on Meaningful Money, and I'm very grateful to them for doing so. Okay, so we've got 3 types of ISA. There's the cash ISA and the stocks and shares ISAs. Those are essentially adult ISAs. And then the third type is junior ISA. So let's look at them one at a time, looking at the adult ones first. Okay. Now, for the adult ISA, you've got an overall limit per year, and that limit as at now, which is the 2012-2013 tax year, is £11,280. That's your overall limit, 11,280. You can split that in 2. You can have up to half of it in a cash ISA, half being 5,640, and then your other half, it can be in a stocks and shares ISA. Now, it's so really important to remember, and it's amazing how many people I come across still who don't understand, is that that 11,280 figure is a contribution limit. It's how much you can put in this tax year. Many people think, oh, you know, I'm only allowed one ISA. No, you're allowed one ISA per tax year, or at least one of each type, actually, cash and stocks and shares. So I've got loads of clients who've got ISAs all over the place, lots of them, because they've amassed them over the years. So that contribution limit is just that. It's how much you can put in any one year. 11,280, of which you can put half, up to half, 5,640 in a cash ISA, right? So what's the difference? A cash ISA is just a tax-free bank account. So the interest you get on the amount you deposit is free of income tax. Normally, if you're a basic rate taxpayer, you pay 20% tax on the interest. Under an ISA, it's tax-free. Worth having? Yep, absolutely, I think so. Stocks and shares ISAs are slightly different because they're not bank accounts, they're investments. You can hold all sorts of different kind of underlying things, shares, corporate bonds, unit trusts and OICs and all sorts of things. Lots more detail on that in other videos on the site here, but the benefit you get from a stocks and shares ISA is firstly that there is no capital gains tax. So any gains you make in a stocks and shares ISA, if one day you sell your ISA and you take the money and go and blow it on a cruise, there's no tax to pay on any gain you make. Very important. They're not quite free of income tax. They're nearly, sort of near as damn it, but not quite. And the reason for that is because if you hold shares, or a fund which holds shares inside your ISA, when you get a dividend off those shares, it is paid to you with a notional 10% tax already deducted, right? You can't arrange for your dividends to be paid tax-free. It just doesn't work like that. They're paid to you net of that 10%, and you can't claim it back, not even if you hold those shares in an ISA. So they're not quite income tax-free. If you hold slightly different kinds of stocks and shares, corporate bonds and gilts and things like that, well, there's no tax to pay on the interest on those anyway, okay? So they're nearly income tax-free, but not quite, and they're completely capital gains tax-free. So some real benefits there. I think stocks and shares ISAs, because of the capital gains things, they're more attractive on a tax perspective than cash ISAs. It all depends what you've got them for. Cash ISAs are a great place to keep short-term money you might need to get hold of, because it's safe, secure, and you're getting tax-free interest. But cash deposit accounts is not really an investment. It's a place just to hold money you might need in the short term. Now, interestingly, if you had used your ISA allowance every year, and before ISAs there were things called PEPs, personal equity plans, if you'd used your maximum allowance every year since 1986 or 7, I think, when PEPs were introduced, and let's say you're a couple and you'd done that, and you'd got 7% a year return, possible, first of all, you would have saved 401,120. That's the sort of combined allowances for a couple for the last maybe 15 years or so, 25 years, 15 years, can't add up. But if you'd got 7% growth on that, you'd be sitting on 1,069,739 quid right now. So I've got clients who have used their ISAs since day one pretty much, and are now sitting on very useful portfolios of tax-free money. So ISAs are really great and worth taking out. Final thing to say is the third type, which is junior ISAs. I'm going to spend a long time on these because if you look back at episode 155, that's where the detail is. I'll put a link just up here. So you can go straight to that. But they apply for children, hence the name, junior ISAs, born either before September 2002 or after the 3rd of January 2011. The rule is, if your child is eligible for the Child Trust Fund, they can't have a junior ISA. But if your child is under 18 and they don't have a Child Trust Fund, then they can have a junior ISA. So, well, that makes sense. You've got a limit of 3,600. Again, you can have cash and stocks and shares in your ISAs. You can have one of each, but rather than like adults, you can have one of each in every tax year. Children can only have one of each, right? And so, you know, if they want to change it, they can't invest in if they've already got stocks and shares junior ISA, they can't invest in another one. They've got to move that one to somewhere else. Much more explained in episode 155. So hope that's helpful. Just a quick summary of ISAs. They really are a really powerful tool and worth taking advantage of if your financial circumstances allow. So thanks for watching once again from a freezing cold Lamorna Cove. I'm going to get back in the warm. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.